Hi guys, and welcome back to Dream Queen. So, hey sweetie, where are you going? It's one of my dogs. So, this video is gonna be PERLA'S gift. So, I'm just gonna talk about exactly what it is that I do. So, as you've seen in the videos, I use water. So I use a wine glass filled with water, and then I use a candle behind it. It is something that is generational. So this is not something that I learned. This is something that I was born with. And my sister, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, as far as I know, all had the gift. And they all used it differently. We do not need anything. Like I had said in one of the videos, it's just more of people like to see things in order to believe, which I think it's stupid, because if you have faith and you believe in something, you believe even when you can't see it. But the times that we live in, unfortunately. So the reason why I've decided to just call it PERLA'S gift is because it is, to me, it is something that is precious, it's priceless. It's something that is in my bloodline. There are a lot of things that I'm able to do. It is not just the water and glass. I just decided to call the water and glass with the candle PERLA'S gift because I couldn't find another name for it. So I am able to just tap into people's energy, like their soul, just even when I don't want to, even when I'm like, even when it's not intentional. And you know, it's hard because a lot of the times I feel like a lot of the things when I say them are misunderstood because of the fact that I am not talking from what people are seeing with their eyes. Now, if we look at the name Perla, which means pearl in English, in reference to the Bible, the word pearls are mentioned multiple times. They're used in comparison to wisdom, so they're considered to be. So when they're talking about, I think it was in Job, if I'm not mistaken. I know I have it written down. And one of his, I think it's Job. What was it? Can't remember right now. I don't know where I left my Bible's, like all the way over there. And he talks about like how you can't buy this and this and that with like gold or silver or copper or sapphires or what was the other thing he used? He used like examples of everything and only left the pearl out of the equation, meaning the interpretation is that a pearl leads you to wisdom. They also refer to it as, so as one of the ancient among the most precious gems. And they also refer to it as, a second, I'll be right back. So I'm back. So what was it? So Revelations 21, verse 21. 21. I know. The 12 gates were 12 pearls, each gate made of a single pearl. The great street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. So again, whenever, and then there was one about, which one was the one for? Oh, this one is Matthew, what is this? 13, verse 45. Yeah. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. So pearls are usually always held high in esteem, and it's kind of funny because anybody that knows anything about pearls or anything like that, like how they're created and stuff like that, there are such things that are culture pearls. So to me, that is what sets me aside, because and I'm just talking about me personally, my gifts are not learned. When I use the tarot cards, when I use certain things, even if I sat here and I learned what every single card means, I'm still not going to use it because it doesn't relate to what's in here. So growing up, I always remember people always had nicknames, always were Spanish. So we have middle names. You usually have like 3 or 4 names. I was born and I was named Perla. There's no middle name, there's nothing. The only nickname I have, that I still have, is Perlita, which is little pearl, which is what my dad calls me. But I was never, even when I went to high school, even when I've had boyfriends throughout relationships and things like that, I never had a nickname. My name has always been used. And when somebody calls me Pearl, I correct them and I say Perla, because it's spelled Perla, Perla. So that is one thing that I have always held held myself high, and like, that's my name, that's the name that was given to me, and I need to own up to my name. So a real authentic, not culture, because culture pearls, yes, they still come out of oysters and everything, but they're fabricated, so the oyster itself is manipulated, so the quality of the pearl is not good. But to get an actual natural pearl, like created like deep in the ocean, and whether it's, it's very rare, because when they were discovered, and they were considered so priceless that they were really actually just getting as many as they can, that they have gotten to the point where they're like almost, it's hard to find an original pearl, like a natural one that is not cultured, and they're very expensive. I was looking into it because I'm like, I want to get myself a pearl necklace, and I'm like, whoa, not right now, because I want, I don't want culture pearls. Let's just put it that way. So I just feel that calling my gift by my name is what is more appropriate. So when I look at the water, it's like it's funny because it's not just seeing, it's a feeling. So it's kind of like I'm inside this movie and I am feeling, hearing, smelling everything that is happening, that is being shown, what like, so it's like it's being shown, but I can hear it and I can sense it and I can feel it. So it's like every part of me kind of connects with it, which is actually quite beautiful. When I use my songs, I have certain playlists on my Spotify because I like certain playlists for certain things, and I have my playlist set to just play my music, not to add any like suggestions or anything like that. And when songs really, really want to get through, that's what happens. They'll come up and pop, like they'll sneak into my Spotify, and I'm like, and then I'll go in because I get so frustrated, because I'm like, well, I used to get frustrated, not anymore. I would go in and double check my settings, and I'm like, but this is not supposed to be happening. Or I would wake up, like, I think it was yesterday. I woke up saying the words like, something's brewing underneath it all. And I'm like, what the heck? And I just kept repeating that throughout the day. And I'm like, what the heck is that? But it was obviously, I was supposed to be led to find the song that related to. So when I use songs, it's not that I am sitting here. Yes, I'm busy right now. Can you give me a minute, please? Just trying to come in. Anyways, when I use my songs, it's not that I'm going here and like, oh, this one sounds good. It is something that that wants to come through, that wants to push through. And for so long, I suppressed it and I doubted myself that I guess God is just trying to give me confirmation from every angle when he wants me to give a message out. So I just kind of stopped doubting and just kind of be like, you know what, let's just move forward. And that's really basically it. The energy shifting thing I started experimenting with when I came to the understanding that a lot of the feelings that I was having were not mine. And that came into play when one day I walked into a Walmart and I was feeling amazing. Like, I was so happy. I don't even remember what the heck was going on, but I was feeling amazing. And I walked in, and I walked probably like not even 30 or 40 steps into the store, and I remember it was busy, and I remember thinking, like, why is it so busy today? And because of the time that I went or whatever. And I went from my original feeling to, all right, sorry guys, I'm back. So like I was saying earlier, I went from feeling sad and angry and depressed, and I was feeling a lot of anxiety, and then I was happy, and I was feeling horny, and I was feeling this, and I was feeling that, and I'm like, whoa, 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 what is all of this happening? Like, where's all of this feeling coming from? Like, I walked in here and I was feeling perfectly fine. Like, what is going on? And that's when I started to be more aware of when certain people were around me, or when I was around big crowds, because I had always wanted to avoid big crowds. I didn't like big crowds because I didn't know how. First of all, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't aware that other people's energy were coming, like literally attaching themselves to me, and I was feeling them internally. And then I was acting out based on those emotions. So for the longest time, I just avoided. I didn't like crowds. I didn't like going to the mall. I didn't like being around people, like big amounts of people. And since becoming aware of it, now when I go like shopping, if I go to Walmart, if I go to Stop and Shop, and somebody passes me by and I feel something heavy, I will literally stop, doesn't matter where I'm at, and I'll take a couple of deep breaths in and just release it, because I don't want that person to continue on carrying that heaviness or that burden. But again, it was all a process. And looking back at everything that I have gone through, everything was preparing me for this. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. There are other things that I do as well. So, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I understand when we talk about the twin flame journey and things like that, there's not a lot of talk about the other side of things. And I experienced the other side. What people want to call the negative energies, what some people call demons, what some people call entities, or whatever you want to call, but that dark side. And because I felt that I was pure dark for so long, because that's what I had been told, when in an essence to try to break free from that, I tried to be super good. And we have to understand that we have to balance ourselves out when it comes to our energies. But I in the physical realm and in other realms, do come face to face with things that probably will scare the living crap out of most people. But again, this is something that has been going on since childhood. I have not as much recently, but especially when I was a child, I would have, I don't know if you want to call them ghosts or whatever you want to call them, but people that had passed away. So I guess they're called medium, the people that communicate with the dead. And they would show up in my room, and I would freak out and cover myself in my head. Like, I don't want to, like, because I thought they were hunting me, like, you know. But later on in time, I realized, because these were people normally that I didn't know, but they lived in the same town where I lived and had passed either a day or two before, and were going, and somehow I was going to come in contact with a family member, usually the mother. And it was just a message that they wanted to get across. And the reason why I know is because then it would happen to other people, and then that there will be adults that would not be afraid to go ahead and speak to the mom, be like, hey, you know, your son came to me and he told me this and this and that. And normally they would come to me dressed exactly how they were buried. And I remember my first encounter that I can recall. I was about 7 or 8, I think. And he was a young kid, and he was killed, I believe, in a motorcycle, right? Actually, no, that was not my first. My first is a little deeper than that, and that's a video in itself, because I was about 5 years old. But this one, he was buried in a black suit with a baseball cap. I did not know him. He was, I would say, early mid-20s. I didn't know him. My mother was a hairdresser, but she had never done his mom's hair, and it happened that my mom was doing her hair for the funeral. Yeah, for the funeral burial. So I didn't go to the funeral burial, but later on, like probably like a couple of days later or whatever, I saw in the obituaries, I saw a picture of him, and he was dressed exactly how he came to see me. I guess he was a huge baseball fan or whatever. So, you know, it is not just the sitting here looking pretty telling you, well, not look, not, you know, just telling you like, you know, just work on yourself, just work on yourself. It's more than that. There is a lot to it than just pulling a couple of cards and being like, okay, now this is it. There is a lot of behind the scene things that people do not see. I also, I make lotions, I make soap, I make teas, I make soups, I make a whole bunch of things that just come to me. I love the sound of water. I love the sound of rain. I love nature. I love being in the forest. I love the trees. I love sensing all of that. I love fire. I love everything. I just love everything. So that is pretty much it about my gift and a little bit about myself as well. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.